Ha! It worked! So King of Winter is the permanent winter map. You start with the thermal stone. You want to charge the thermal stone here. And then pick up as much as you can from your immediate surroundings. Alright, so King of Winter is a map where it's permanently winter. That means that you're going to have to deal with a very cold environment for the entirety of your survival period. It means you have to prioritize items like these. Fire, torch, campfire. And also flint. Flint is going to be a very useful item because, especially for Maxwell, Maxwell is going to need to lower his sanity because this map almost always has obelisks. And in order to pass through obelisks, you have to have the ability to manipulate your sanity, otherwise it becomes very difficult to do. So the flint here is actually going to help me shovel up some mushrooms. Now the issue right now, actually it's not an issue because I brought the pickaxe. The last map I spent a bunch of time thinking about what I wanted to bring to this map, which was, yeah, it was pretty annoying, wasn't it? But I think this is the right choice. Out of all the other choices I had, the golden pickaxe was the best choice. So because I'm currently in the grassland biome, there might be some blue mushrooms sitting around. The blue mushrooms are going to help me manipulate my sanity when I actually need it. So far I haven't seen anything yet. Food is a priority on this map because in most cases you're not going to run into too much food. I just realized something that could be an issue, and that is I didn't prototype a spear, which is really easy to make. I prototyped the handbat as my primary weapon. So the prerequisite for a handbat is, of course, meat. If I don't get meat, then the handbat is it can't be made. You have to use meat to make it. You slap enemies with meat. It's kind of funny. But overall, the handbat is still better than the spear. The spear is a very weak item. Alright, that's enough of the grass and stuff. Keep an eye on your thermal stone when you're playing on a winter map. King of Winter especially, because it's not going to get any warmer. It's just going to be winter, winter, winter forever. Wow, that's a lot of carrots, actually. But there are no mushrooms. The mushrooms that I want the most are not the blue mushrooms, but the green mushrooms. And green mushrooms, you find them in the forest biome, which is not around here. I guess this is considered forest biome. But right now I'm just exploring as much as I can from my immediate surroundings. There's a random pig there. This thing can drop meat, but it drops meat at chance, I believe. And also, I don't want to deal with pigs. Pigs are not very fun to deal with. So what I'm looking for is to kill a beefalo. This one is isolated, isn't it? If I can find an isolated beefalo, this is an obelisk. Alright, so this is an intersection from this area of the world to another one. And basically, once you pass this area, it's going to be very difficult to come back. Okay, well, it's grouping up with its herd again, unfortunately. I'm trying to isolate the beefalo if I can. Also, I should be using this a lot more. I made a mistake of not using that. I might have passed through one there, so I'm going to cut through eventually. So, green mushroom. This is a rare spawn in the savanna biome. Normally, like I said, they're found in forests. So far, I haven't found any true forests. Signal's getting weaker, so the signal's coming from around here or around here. Oh, did I pass through here? No, that was the pig. That was the pig. It's not a thing. Sometimes you might find the ring thing, which kind of looks like that on the map, but that was the guardian pig just sitting there, chilling, alone. So I'm just gonna explore the entirety of this area, circle around the edges of the world, this allows you to gain the most important information, which is how the biomes connect, and also how big the world is. Or at least how big the current area is. I'm gonna make a torch right here. Could have made one a while ago, but I delayed it. I'm just gonna burn one of these to restore my heat. The thermal stone is wet for some reason. It's kind of interesting. What? Wetness? Why am I wet? Wait, why was I wet? That is actually a very good question. Why was I wet? Why am I still wet? Your wetness doesn't go down when you're in winter, actually. That's why, but where did that wetness come from? Was it from the previous map? No. I'm actually confused right now. Anyway, it doesn't really matter. I'm just going to lower my wetness down to 0 and everything else will be fine too. So it's nighttime now, I got some mushrooms, and I'm just going to go along the edge of the world continuously to finish exploring. Actually, I'm not going to flicker. I need to see my surroundings. Also, this gives me heat. So I need to see if there are any mushrooms nearby, because this is actually very important. Not getting any mushrooms will make it almost impossible for me to pass through the obelisks. Okay, there's a lot of carrots everywhere. There's a mushroom here. These mushrooms are not as potent as the green ones, so I'm still looking for green ones ideally. The green ones reduce your sanity by 50. So obviously, if you want to manipulate your sanity downwards, then that is much better than the blue mushroom. Blue mushroom is what, 15, I think? I have those periods where I actually remember the numbers, and then other ones I just don't. Fire staff. Yeah, sure, might as well. So when you kill a firehound, it actually produces a fire. There's a fire staff here. The moment you grab it, it actually sets off all the hounds. So if you don't want to aggro all the hounds, then it's a good idea to lure them off one by one like I did right there. I'm just gonna drop this. I can't use this anyway. I'm gonna go back for that fire staff very soon. Once it hits day, which is like now. I don't need to burn anything. So if you kill them one by one, it doesn't trigger the trap. Normally, if you pick up the fire staff, all 5 hounds will jump on you, chase you, and kill you, most likely. So you may be thinking, why do I need a fire staff? First of all, it lowers your sanity when you pick it up, which I could use by going here immediately and just lowering my sanity getting through there, but unfortunately it's not a really good timing for me to lower my sanity. The other thing is, the fire staff actually can be used to lower your sanity. Whenever you use the fire staff, it should lower your sanity, I believe. Alright, so I made it all the way around. Let's see. So I'm going to cut through here just to be sure. And if there are any mushrooms nearby, I will pick them up. Or I will shovel them, actually. Daytime is extremely short. It's not as short as the games afoot. The games afoot is like 1 or 2 notches. But it's still short, which means that you're going to freeze faster. And on a winter map, that is dangerous. I have a lot of food. I have enough sanity reduction to go through the obelisk. Alright, so it seems like there's nothing here. Otherwise the signal would be a little bit stronger. I hope. I'm pretty sure. So I'm just going to go through the obelisk now. Going around the entirety of this area, I found nothing but one intersection. So the way it works is you're normally supposed to go through an intersection when you're finished with one area. You could think of them as a kind of checkpoint. And the checkpoint between the area is right here. Right here. Wasn't able to find any isolated beefalo, that was the problem. So, let's see. Do I want to kill a beefalo? It means I'll get a weapon if I do. Alright, so this way of aggroing will cause it to run around like that. The entirety of the beefalo herd will not get aggroed, because the way it works in ROG, I should say, it doesn't work like this in Don't Starve Together, is that if your weapon does 0 damage, which the fire staff does, it does 0, you don't actually aggro nearby mobs that assist. The fire staff is something that deals 0 damage but causes the burn effect. So, another item that works like this is the sleep dart. I haven't tested the fire dart. I'm not sure if the fire dart does damage, but I'm gonna assume it doesn't do damage, and it works just like the fire staff. So basically, these items allow you to aggro mobs that have assist mechanics without actually aggroing the rest of the mobs. So I can make my hand bat now. Let's see, is there anything I need to get rid of? This I'll get rid of first, but I'll do this after I pass through the obelisk. So what I'm going to do now is nuke my sanity. 1, 2, 3, 4? No, 5? Okay, there. So when you lower your sanity, the obelisks go down. Sometimes you'll find obelisks that go up when your sanity goes low, and those ones can be dangerous for characters that have no way of regenerating sanity. But for Maxwell, it's no problem, because he has really high natural sanity regen. So once you pass through here, like I mentioned, like a checkpoint, you just want to regen your sanity and close up the door. Main reason is because you don't want to aggro shadow creatures onto you. That's the main reason. Alright, so there are beefalo here. That means I have a source of food if I need it. But the most important thing right now is finding the thing that's right under my nose. I'm going to look around a little bit. And it is the ring thing. So this is really dangerous. When Maxwell takes ambient damage from cold heat, he takes a lot of damage. And what I mean by that is he takes a higher percentage of his maximum health compared to other characters, because armor doesn't reduce the amount of damage you take from like overheating and freezing, so it doesn't actually matter. He has 75 health, so every time your health ticks down, you take a ton of damage. The meat could have also been used to lower sanity. Raw meat lowers sanity. And even though I can flicker, it's a good idea to just keep warm. I guess I'm okay now. I'm pretty warm now. Oh, actually, no, I can't do that, because my sanity is actually too low to do that, and I know there are shadow creatures nearby. It's really dangerous for Maxwell to flicker under most conditions. I want to kill this beefalo. This is a trap. If you see a beefalo in a corner like that, well, the thing is, there are a lot of beefalo nearby, and you're going to aggro all these beefalo once they realize that you're attacking its friend. So even though it's isolated, it's not truly isolated. You're isolating yourself, and it's going to get you killed. So if you see something like that, just don't take the bait. It looks tasty, but don't do it. Flickering is very scary when you're playing a character like Maxwell. Because if you make one mistake and you actually get hit by Charlie, you're basically dead. Although I think I've only run into one Charlie attack in 9 episodes. I'm still nervous though, because I want to make this run good. It's a good run, I hope. So far the run has been quite good. So this is just maintaining my thermal stone as well as my sanity, allowing Maxwell's natural sanity regeneration to kick in and bring him back up to safe levels. Although it's not necessary, because there's a chance that you will run into more obelisks. Like one here and then one here that's kind of like a boundary into another area. The chances of that happening are very high, actually. I would say as high as 50%. I'm just pulling numbers out of my ass, though. But from my experience, more often than not, so maybe 60%. More bullshit numbers. We can see that there is... Oh, okay, well, we saw something there already. We saw the other island, the other biome here. And I was going to say, you're probably going to end up with an intersection here. This is the boulder intersection. It works the same way as the obelisks, in that they are kind of a checkpoint, a gateway, a boundary, a door from one area to another. But because it is an intersection, I'm actually going to continue on exploring this area just to make sure it doesn't lead anywhere. There's a very low chance for there to be something leading this way, but a low chance is still a chance, and in order to play this game efficiently, sometimes a slow and steady methodical playstyle is necessary so you don't miss anything. I almost thought this was an intersection. They usually look like that, the shape of the terrain. I don't think there's anything here. Honestly, there's probably nothing here now. It's a bit too late. Because most of the time, when you see an intersection, it's shaped like this. So it branches in this little narrow path, and then you have, like, stuff around it. And I haven't seen anything like the sort from this area, or even any other nearby area. Now, because there is a boulder intersection, that means that the chance of an obelisk intersection being on the map is extremely low. But the thing is, I only have one of the 4 things, so now it becomes kind of interesting. In a lot of cases on King of Winter, you have intersections that branch like one this way and one this way, and then you have to choose which way to go, find the things in each side, or maybe you run into the wooden thing and then you get screwed over because, well, the wooden thing is the last thing you want to find. It's the door to the next map, the exit. But in this case, it seems like a really linear King of Winter map. So I'm just going to go through it and figure out the next step after I go through there. Chances are there may be another intersection at some point. So all you have to do is mine 2 from each side. I'm going to try and avoid the knights here because it's garbage. Alright, so 2 from each side. Keep an eye on everything if possible. So right now I'm keeping an eye on this. It's too cold. It's almost too cold to hold. I'm keeping an eye on my torch. I have 11% left. And my inventory space is getting very, very low. Alright. Heading in the right direction, saw a piece of gold. Because I saw a piece of gold, I can deduce that this is a graveyard. So I'm going to walk into a graveyard shortly. Or a rocky biome. That's a graveyard. It's either one. It could be a rocky biome with spiders and gold. It could also be a graveyard. Which, yeah, hit stuff. Yeah. So this is a hound intersection. I know that because there are bones on the ground. So I'm going to avoid this area, as you can see here. It's the area without any turf. That's how you can tell it's an intersection most of the time. So I'm just going to continue onwards. Signal's getting weaker, so the signal coming from the Divining Rod is either in this area or over here. But because there's an intersection, once again, I'm going to continue exploring this biome, which is a giant graveyard. It's really crazy, actually. Alright, we're in a rocky biome now. In a rocky biome, the biggest danger is not having anything to burn. And I don't want to drop a campfire here because I don't need to. If I do need heat, then I have items in my inventory that I can drop and then light them on fire for heat. Alright, there's something nearby. So there's 2 things in this area, most likely. Or there's one thing near me and then one thing over here. So this has the potential to be a very big map. This is the box thing. Alright, so that is that. The set pieces that come with the things often have flammable items, which I'm actually going to use right now. I'm running really low. Was that a bug? Did you guys see that? I need to look at the replay or the VOD. How did that happen? I've never seen that before. So if you're holding a torch, I didn't have a second torch, right? If you're holding a torch and you make another torch, then your torch in your inventory becomes full? Is that what happened, or am I crazy? I'm pretty sure I'm crazy. But if that did happen, that'd be a very interesting discovery. The dangers of a rocky biome. I want to keep moving, though. Was there a torch? A second torch? I can't remember now. There might have been a second torch that came with the map. Okay, either way. I'll check it later. Pretty sure I'm crazy. Alright, so seeing fireflies basically tells you that you're in a forest. And, well, it tells you that you're not in a rocky biome. It could be something else. It could be deciduous forest. Not in adventure mode, though, but that's in survival. Because there are no deciduous forests in survival mode. Adventure mode. So it could be grassland as well. Basically, it means that there is something that is not a rocky biome in the area. So that let me replenish my heat a little bit. I'm just going to continue onwards. So let's see, what do I have here? Intersection there. There might be one here, actually. The way the map is shaped, it goes this way, and then maybe there's something there. But most likely there's going to be... Well, definitely there's something here already. 100%. Aha! Burn his boat. Give me a source of heat. It's so scary. So scary. I'm so curious about what happened. Alright, anyway, I should focus on this run and not on minor details that don't actually matter. Whether or not it did actually reproduce the torch is not important. Whether or not I'm crazy is not important. The important thing is I am committed to finishing this run. So I got a signal here, there are hounds here. I'm finished exploring the edges of this area. There's nothing here, except for the box thing, which I found along the way up there. So I'm going to head over here now, and avoid the hounds if possible. If not, I have the handbat. Smack the meat with the meat, that's what I call it all the time. There's a green mushroom there in case I run into another area with an intersection. Obelisk, specifically. Signal's getting stronger, so there's something very close by. There's a breezy vest there. If you have no backpack, it's a really good item to pick up. Alright, so it was in this area. I guess I did go in the wrong direction, but it's alright. Is that a breezy vest or a puffy vest? I never make those items, I just know what they look like. One is green, or like olive color, and then one is brown. That was the brown one. I'm not much for hunting koalefants unless I'm playing Wigfrid. Because there's just so much food everywhere, and most of the time, especially in the early game when you don't have a ranged weapon, the koalefant is kind of annoying. Because you need to corner it, it takes a bit of time, you're wasting time tracking it down. It's definitely a good item, don't get me wrong, or a good source of food. Good creature to kill. And it provides you with a lot of meat that lasts for a very, very long time. So if you actually do need the food, then by all means go for it. It's just that I'm usually focused on exploration during my runs. That is so scary. In survival, of course. Oh, did I just hear something? And of course in adventure mode, that's also the focus. In adventure mode especially, the Qualifiant is pretty useless. Anything that provides you with food is sufficient for this kind of run. Oh, there are obelisks. These are the ones that go up when your sanity goes down, so this is basically irrelevant to me. On characters with low sanity, like Weber, it could be more relevant, in which case you're going to have items that you can prototype if you have no items in your inventory, or you need to have a fire pre-built with mushrooms ready to cook them. When you cook the mushrooms, they actually restore sanity instead of reduce sanity. So if you do get trapped inside those areas, you need to have a way, you need to be prepared, and you need to have a way to actually escape, otherwise you just die slowly. So always keep an eye on your sanity if you're walking near obelisks, especially if you're planning to walk through it. It's very strange how the hounds are like this. There's basically nothing there. It's impossible, I think, for anything to be there. Oh, a boomerang! That's useful. What am I going to drop for this boomerang? Drop the poop? I'll put the poop together. I'll burn it. Alright, so what am I looking for? That is the crank thing with the pig house. I don't think I need this axe. At the end of the map, I'm probably going to make a campfire, drop this campfire that I pre-built. So I have 2 logs already ready for it. So it's not really relevant. Whoa, what is that thing doing? As long as it doesn't attack me, it's fine. It's out of range, though. So just head through the obelisk. If I lower my sanity, they go up. But I don't want to waste time doing that. I have 3 of the 4 things already, so I want to find one more thing and then find the wooden thing to place everything on it and get off this map. Relatively quick run. Did go a little bit slower than I wanted it to be, but I blame the map layout more than anything else. So even though I knew something was in this area, I guess it was up here, I decided to go this way because I only had 2 things after 1, 2, 3 areas. And I found the 3rd thing in this area. So no matter what, there's probably going to be more areas. And I needed to discover the entirety of the edge in order to find the connections to the other areas. So regardless, I would have had to do that anyway, just to be thorough in my exploration. So I dropped the... Oh, it's unfortunate I dropped the poop, so I'm going to start freezing. Get me out of here. Get me out of here. Oh, the metal potato thing. How convenient. Didn't even have to use this. Alright, we'll have to drop something. Probably the shovel. I don't think it's going to be very useful anymore. It seems like I never find the metal potato thing set piece as my first one. It's always like 3rd or 4th. Because the shovel that always comes with it is actually relevant if you get it early. But it's not as relevant, of course, if you don't get it early. You make a shovel already and you use it already. Alright, so I have everything already. Any signal I get means that it's the wooden thing. The wooden thing is actually near me. I'm heading in the right direction, like Maxwell says. So because I have 4 of the things already, I have everything that's available on the map. Then I don't have to worry about exploring anymore. I'm gonna play the safe then. Slow but safe. Let me try this again. Oh my god, did it? No, it didn't. So there was an extra. I'm just crazy then. Yeah, I was crazy. I'm a crazy, crazy person. Except I'm not, actually, because I'm playing Maxwell. So there actually was a torch here. It's just strange that I saw the item flying up there. Alright, so the signal is getting weaker on this side, which means the thing is definitely here. I'm gonna head over there now. Daybreak will be in a couple seconds, and I can just keep moving through the darkness. Okay, no darkness. The moment I see any checkered flooring, any carpet, any marble trees, then that means the wooden thing is nearby. So basically, anything that's not rocky stuff, something that's out of the ordinary here, then that means it's the thing. There we go. Right there. So as always, approach from the side of the knight instead of the bishop, because the bishops are ranged. They aggro onto you, they instantly attack you. And just drop all the things in there. There's no point killing them. It takes a lot of time to actually kill them, so don't worry about that part. Don't worry about combat, basically. If you can avoid combat, just avoid it. That's like a general statement for adventure mode, actually. And then I'm going to think about what I need for the next map. The next map, the next chapter is chapter 4. It's going to be Archipelago, or Two Worlds. I don't have a miner hat yet, so regardless of which map it is, I'm going to have to build the miner hat, or at least get ready to build the miner hats for World 5, essentially, the last one. So, let's see. What is the most relevant thing for me to bring over? The winter maps are now over. I got the Games Afoot, King of Winter, A Cold Reception already. A Cold Reception is the map that turns into winter eventually. And of course, this is King of Winter. The one previous to this one was the Games Afoot. I believe in that order. Maybe the other order, I can't remember now. But either way, no more winter maps, so I don't need the Beefalo hats. I don't need the Thermal Stone. All I need is the Walking Cane, Pigskin, probably a weapon, which will be made from either the meat or the pig, or I'll just bring this over automatically. I might bring this as well. It's also a very useful item. There's also some consideration for rocks, but because I have the pickaxe, the rocks are less good. You need to think about what is the most useful thing you can bring for each map. If it's Two Worlds, then it really doesn't matter what I bring. So currently I'm at 3 items. Last time I'm going to bring... Again, this is another hard decision. By hard decision, I mean it's up in the air. You can basically bring anything you want for the next map. It doesn't really matter. So I think I'll bring this for the versatility factor. Being able to craft a weapon as well as a helmet. Because all you need is rope. Alright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to activate this thing. I'm going to walk away because this thing's going to aggro me again. I should have activated it last time, that was my mistake. The prompt comes up in a couple seconds, like there's a little delay to it, so you don't get it immediately. So next time I walk up to it, I'm going to click it, shift click 1, 2, 3, 4 into that little storage system it has, and then I'll move on to the next map and hope it's Two Worlds. Is that good enough? Let me see. One final thought before I leave. I didn't actually get to use this to lower my sanity because I actually found a lot of mushrooms. It started off with like no mushrooms, and then eventually I found the mushrooms that I needed to drop my sanity really low. Yeah, that's good. It's fine. So I'm hoping for 2 worlds. The main reason is because I want to finish this run as soon as possible. 2 worlds I can finish in like 10 minutes if I rush really fast and get pretty good RNG. If not 10 minutes, like 12 minutes. It's like 10 to 15 minutes if you do it well.